Hi everyone, I'm Michael,
And I'm Erin,
and you're watching.
the early show.
Ta-da! Here we are.
Hello, hello.
Happy next night, Erin.
So great to see you once again, Michael.
I'm wearing my favorite little scarf for this episode because it's pineapples, which is for our topic.
Our topic is pot.
Pineapple
Pop.
Express, bitches. My favorite.
It is a very good movie.
It's not the movie. I haven't even seen the movie.
But right, it's
I'm living the movie. Who has time to see a movie when you can be the movie?
oh, you're so scandalous in your Pineapple Express bandana scarf thing, kerchief.
Girl, pretty is as pretty does.
Oh yeah, you look good.
I always have to teach you these things, but we were raised in different environments.
It's true, we were.
Okay, I'm such a bitch. Okay, we're gonna start today with first time.
Yes, first time smoking marijuana. The first time I smoked, nothing happened. So that's anticlimactic. So let's just throw that
Okay,
out.
skip that one.
I didn't know how to inhale. Nothing
Oh,
happened.
then you didn't really smoke.
I like
All
thought
the
I
presidents know that.
I thought I was, but I was not. So it was probably like the seventh time. My boyfriend at the time, I was 14, he made a homemade bubbler out of an empty 2.6 bottle of
What's a
vodka.
bubbler? Like a homemade
With
bong?
yeah, it's like a mini bong that typically uses like tubes or some kind of like. It's not quite the same as a. We'll have to get you a bubble.
Low rent.
But it was homemade. He like drilled plastic straws into a thing, and anyways, but it got me wrecked. And I remember having really strange like auditory like lack of syncing up. So I was hearing things coming in from the radio, and they were on like a major delay. And I people would talk, and then I would hear them saying what it was that they were saying. And it's actually like the most my senses have ever been altered on any drug or alcohol or birth or anything I've ever experienced. So that was intense. But I, at some point, made my way upstairs and grabbed a little container of Sapporo Ichiban. Wanted it, of course, because I'm very munchy when I smoke weed. But somehow, I don't know how I got from upstairs to downstairs, but I have this image of suddenly standing over top of the open toilet bowl and just chucking the Sapporo Ichiban into the toilet bowl. Like for no reason. There it is, dropped it in there, and then
Wow.
and then had big chunks of kind of not remembering after that, and then going home and trying to sleep it off to hide from my parents. So it was like a really intense experience, my first time ever smoking marijuana, and I didn't smoke again for a while after that because I was kind of one of those 14-year-old girls that you see who just like loses their fucking shit and is all over the place, and somebody's like,
You
we got to get her home.
I don't believe it. I want to see video. Until there's a mini documentary about it, it doesn't exist.
And what about you?
My first time, well, I was such a goody two shoes. I didn't smoke pot until I went to grad school.
Oh
I was
wow.
24 years old when I had my first joint, and it was when I was still drinking. I quit drinking at 27. So at 24, I was in the student pub at the University of British Columbia. We were in the pub, and we were having drinks. And my friend Darcia said, "I've got a joint. We could smoke it if you wanted to try it. I've got a little roach." And I was like, "What's a roach?" And she was like, when you've smoked some." And I'm like, "I've never smoked before." She was like, "You've never smoked? Oh, you have to come smoke with me. This could be your first time." I was like, "Sure, I'll do it," because I was drunk. I'll do it. At the same time, I was fondling the guy next to me under the table, and he was straight. And he's with a good friend of mine that I went to grad school with. And we all met in grad school. And anyways, I was fondling this straight guy and he was just too polite to tell me. Peter, the
Too
nicest, the nicest man alive. Anyways, So we go to the bathroom, and I stand on the toilet in the women's bathroom in case somebody comes in, and
Oh.
Darcia stands there, and we share a little roach, and I have 2 or 3 tokes of it, and that's the first time I ever smoked pot.
And was it fun?
And, oh yeah, I had a great time. It was not, it was really great.
That's awesome.
That brings us to we're gonna play now our favorite game, Psych.
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 I love how high tech that is. It just thrills me that is it'd take you hours to make that look good in studio, and
Yeah.
I just do it in a second.
Magic.
Psych is the game where I say a word and she responds, and
Yeah.
we see the depths of Erin's psychology.
In response to yours. It's a it's a double, it's an exchange,
Yes. Yes, I'm sure I influence things with intonation
I
and
think so,
stress.
Yeah.
I shall try an effort to be more neutral in
Okay.
my delivery.
I think that if this is going to really be representative of proper psychology, that would make sense. Let's do it.
I agree. And here we begin. The game is Psych. Category is pot. First word, pot.
Weed,
Kettle.
black,
Smoke.
toke,
Bong.
hoot,
Arrested.
legalization,
Stone.
rock,
Bowl.
lighter,
Vaporizer.
inhale,
Plant.
herb,
Bud.
flower,
Joint.
ganja.
You are so fucking literal. This game every week destroys me because you are the poet who can't find a fucking metaphor. Associative. It's an associative game.
I think that this would be where if I had those little cards that said good and bad for judging, I would hold up the bad one. Here, I'm going to do it right now. And I
Oh.
say to you,
Hey.
that is bad.
That's my show. That's my Here, I'll give you this. I'll give you a dunno. I don't know. Maybe that was bad. Isn't that the spirit of the show?
Yes, but the next time we play that game, we're going to flip the script. If my words
No,
are too,
you need to play. You need to take control.
I think so.
Yeah. I've been waiting for you to claim your feminism.
You just have to be put in your place a little bit, Michael. It's really hard of our
Oh, I always say I'm Mama Michael, but I forgot that you're also Daddy.
Oh yes, Daddy. I know I flustered you.
What were we doing? Oh, we're doing a show. Wait a minute. Okay, what's next? Stigma.
Stigma.
Yes.
Oh,
So
man.
I thought here I'll just say it and then you respond. How's that? I thought I didn't.
Are you going to judge me though?
No, I won't. No, you get to judge me all you want. I wanted to put stigma down just to bring the tempo down a little bit because I got a little carried away. I started to hyperventilate. I thought if we're going to talk about pot, we really should talk about stigma because we're in such this weird period in Canada where now you can grow pot. Like I got 4 plants. I'm going to put them in my garden and you can smoke it and it's so weird. But being an adult alcoholic who's been sober for 22 years, it's kind of, sometimes I get worried. I'm like, am I really sober if I'm also doing pot? But anyways, I just wanted to talk about stigma because pot has really saved my life. I've never been calmer since I started smoking pot daily. It
Yeah,
has
me
changed
too.
my life.
Did you have it around? Like, I find it interesting that your first story and interaction with smoking weed was when you were 24 and in BC. And then I, moved to BC from the prairies at 12 and it was just everywhere. It was
Yeah.
pretty unheard of to meet somebody who got through high school without smoking weed and often like regularly. So was it around a lot in Cornwall?
Well, I hung out with all the goody two shoes, and
Right.
I don't think it was around much,
Right.
really. Like, I remember my sister doing hash. Oh, Jesus. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but whatever. I remember her doing hot knives with hash
Right.
when I was a kid. Oh, fuck. But I don't know about the other stuff. I don't remember there being much pot. And when I went to university, there wasn't a lot of pot. And I drank, but yeah, pot, it just scared me. Like, I drank late too. I didn't drink till I was 16, and people were drinking in grade, like, when they were 12 and grade 7 and stuff.
Yeah.
And I would call my mom and tell her to take me home because my dad was an alcoholic. So,
Yeah. You're
anyway,
sensitive.
so I've always been really worried, and that's all I'm going to say about stigma. Now you can talk.
Yeah, stigma. I mean, I kind of like grew up in Vancouver while all of the big protests were happening for legalization. So my kind of first engagement with weed was that I had been taught that it was bad and addictive, and I was going to,
Mm,
suffer from the use of it, and especially as a young person at that time, and then learned a lot about how it had been made illegal, all of its many medicinal benefits,
all the
and
witchy stuff.
yeah, it's just really it's a really wild plant. And then and also had for years, as a child, I was diagnosed with ADHD and never went on any kind of medication for it. And that was sort of my family's approach to it, was that we would deal with it, but it was a struggle for me until I started smoking marijuana, and suddenly it was like, oh, I can like focus on things, and I can like shift attention from one thing to another without having big emotional fluctuations and control and all these things that I hadn't really engaged with before. So for me, it was this kind of like life-saving thing. And it's really wonderful to raise my kids in a time when it's legal, as
Yeah.
opposed to the fear of hiding it. Something that feels really beneficial to my overall health, being stigmatized as bad is seems like counterintuitive or something.
Well, that's the weird moment. It's the before and after, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, and there's the whole prison stuff that we could get
Yeah.
into. The
It's be a huge its own thing, but
all those people in prison for a thing that the government's now selling.
yeah, yeah,
Jesus, that's humiliating.
yeah, it's intense. It's an
Stigma.
intense history. But
Uh,
stigma.
so now let's pick it up. So it because it seems important to do it's a broad spectrum show. We want to do the important stuff. We don't just want to do the light and airy.
Well,
Uh,
because it's much more than that, you and I, Michael. We're beauty, we're brains, it's all wrapped into two beautiful bundles.
I have muscle underneath everything that jiggles, I'm sure, but who cares?
Me too.
I'd rather be a pineapple than a prune.
Oh, there you go.
So best trip.
Best trip. I can't really remember like anything too intense or extreme.
Well, maybe that's your first one.
I think that's probably like, you know what I can't do hot knives or smoke hash because I had a couple of like really intense trips from them, but that's not really like the best trip. So I don't know that I can't think of best trip. What's your best trip?
My best trip on. Oh, I don't have a best trip on pot that I can think of.
Yeah.
Uh, but I have a best trip on mushrooms. And
Mushroom.
I always say the best thing about mushrooms taught me, it was like there was a little door that opened up in my brain, and mushrooms said, oh, look, in this room, boop, in here, there's all this joy. There's this huge connection to everything. And here it is in your body. Here's, I'm showing you where that little door is.
Yeah.
And then I finished my stone. I lived in that place through the whole stone. I was experiencing what it was to be in that place. And then when the stone was over, I could still find that place in my body where
Yeah.
the stone had been, and the joy was there. It was the weirdest. It was like my body interpreted sensation as metaphor, and in the metaphor, it created a pathway to that place.
Wow. That's powerful.
Weird.
That sounds like a best trip to me. But yeah, weed has more of a like, I don't know that I would say that I like trip on it. And then other drugs I don't agree with them very much. Like I struggle with mushrooms because of my sensitive stomach, and I've done acid a couple times. So I'm like a diehard smoke marijuana to get through type. So maybe that's my best trip. My life.
Your life, and I'm high on life. Life is high on me. Okay, now we're going to play this game.
Okay.
The game is a popular game that we know in the world called Fuck, Marry, Kill. But
Yes.
we have our own little categories, which are vape, joints, and edibles.
Okay.
So you have to tell me which you would do. Would you fuck, marry, or kill vape, joints, or edibles?
Okay. I would marry joints. I would probably kill edibles, unfortunately, and fuck the vape.
Oh, that is so interesting. So, fuck, vape, marry, joints, kill edibles. That's your punk rock song.
Yeah, there it is.
Fuck
Nope.
vape, marry joints, kill edibles. Fuck vape, marry joints, kill edibles. Kill, 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 kill edibles. And that's the name of the song.
Love it. My punk rock song was created in the ocean in Santa Teresa, Costa Rica, and it goes like this: "Free bleeding in the ocean, she was free bleeding in the ocean," and that happened when I was free bleeding in the ocean one day.
You just have the best little anecdotes. Nobody's lived the brief moments quite so well as you. So here I'm going to fuck joints because,
Okay.
I don't mind getting hot and dirty with a joint.
Yeah.
I would marry edibles because I just think it'd be better health wise for me to marry edibles, and I like my sweets, so why not eat something? And I would kill vape. Like, who cares about vape? Good riddance, vape.
Yeah.
Vape's fine. It's
Yeah.
nice to be able to vape in the house, but
Yeah. No, I'm the same. We just bought a vape and I just have not been getting down on it at all. But edibles can make me really stoned. So I need to find a good medium that I like that feels good for
I love making my own.
the
Yeah,
smoke is tough.
I like making my own butter, and you make a big batch, so then you have a lot of it and you can bake with it over time. So you figure out in the first batch how much you need, make a mild dose, and then you make really reliable dose. I love it.
Yeah, but how do you not eat too many of them?
Oh, I just make them one. I just make one cookie is your thing. That's all you're allowed to eat. So it's
Right.
one dose. I figure out what the dosage is.
Right. Genius.
I make the same recipe every time.
Right.
I measure how much butter I have. How much pot butter am I using?
Yeah.
I make 31 cookies or 35 cookies or whatever, and then I see how strong they are. I make them mild. I see how strong they are, and then I do the math. I'm like, okay, I think I want. So I have to eat 2 cookies to get the stone I want. So I made them. I had to make 6 cookies. I had to eat 6 cookies to get a good stone last time. So I just made them 6 times stronger. So I
Right.
made fewer cookies,
Mm-hmm.
half as many cookies and whatever. But I figured out the math.
Yeah, it sounds very mathematical. My problem is that they taste so delicious, and then I have to make edible cookies and then normal, not pot cookies, so I can eat them.
Francis gets mad at me because I've never made normal cookies. I just make pot cookies. He says, they're so tasty and you always tell me what a great baker you are and you never bake for me. I'm holding that out where my body starts to really go. My face will...
Yeah.
Well, then I'm going to start baking. I'll be
Yeah.
like, oh, I made you some cookies.
It'll
That's
be like,
terrible.
"Oh, God, I love you again."
Oh, I'm an awful person. I made an age joke. Whatever. We're all afraid of it, even those of us who were once young and no longer are.
Yeah.
I'm 49. So now we're going to do confessions.
Okay.
Like, I can be a real shit and say the thing that people aren't supposed to say.
That's not a confession. Everybody already knows that. That's what we love about you. That's why we return to you time and time again. Even when we get burned, and then we wonder, why do I keep returning to this hot, hot stove?
If you weren't such a faggot, you wouldn't get thrown on the fire and burnt. If anyone was going to come out as trans and faggy, it'd be you.
Oh, it would be me. 100%.
Yeah. You're like Amy Sedaris. Like you're the ultimate fag hag.
Yeah.
You just put a bow tie on it and you're not sure. Is that a dandy? Is that like Quentin Crisp as a young person? Or Is that Aaron Scott?
It's true, and I take great pride in that.
So confessions.
Confessions,
Yeah, pot confessions.
hot confessions.
My friends, I'll start. My
Yep.
friends told me that they lost their weed source. They grew weed and it molded, went moldy on them. Something went awry, and they
Mhm.
lost their entire crop. And that very day that they realized the crop was ruined, they were walking home down an alley and saw a plant, a pot plant, in the alley, uprooted, that was just sitting there. No one was around, and they were like, "Whoop!" And they took the magic pot home. They call it magic pot because it
Um,
just materialized, and that's what they've been smoking. It's not my confession; it's somebody else's, but it's really
I was
good.
going to say this is a very interesting approach to the game of confessions. Confessions about pot. Um, oh, so one time when I was in high school, me and my younger brother made our own pot brownies, and we made them very strong. And our older brother is very wonderfully kind of straight laced. He follows rules. He's always been that way. And so he was like you. He wasn't smoking pot in high school. And so we lied to him one day and said, "Hey, these are just some regular old brownies, Craig."
Oh,
And he ate a couple of them and
oh,
was just
that's so terrible.
he doesn't do well with weed. Like, so he just got so high and like he thought he was dying. And we didn't want to confess to our mom because he's the firstborn and we would have been in a lot of trouble. And it was just, yeah, we got kind of naughty about the weed when it was like we were showing off, like we can do whatever we want.
So terrible.
It was a
Oh,
bad one. So I felt for him.
you should be ashamed of yourself.
So hard because he was eating them and he goes, these kind of taste a little weird. Like, what's we're like, oh, I don't know. What could that be?
That was your out. That was Jesus saying, "Hey, look,
Yeah.
if you
And
want
we
an
didn't,
out,
yeah, we didn't take it. The horns were coming right out of both of our little heads and
yeah, you are skipping merrily away."
real trouble. Yeah. Yeah. But, it happens.
I don't have any pot confessions.
No,
Oh, it's such a goody two shoes.
it's just like, it's a funny side to you. Hey.
Well, this is the thing I like about pot. Oh, I have a pot confession.
Okay.
Because I smoke every night, every
Yeah.
single episode of storytelling I did high. My
Michael.
whole series, but when I started interviewing people, then I wasn't high because it wasn't at night because I pre-recorded them.
Yes. Right.
And so I wasn't high during the day. And I wanted to be sharp to interview people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and we both have a shared confession, right?
I think we might. I think we should maybe admit.
Well, we both got stoned before the show, so we could do a stone show.
Everyone out there goes, yeah, no shit.
I don't know. I don't know. Could you, Martha, could you tell? No, I couldn't, George.
No, I think they could tell.
Oh, shh. Okay, so that's it. Let's say goodbye to our friends.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming, everyone. I hope you were educated and inspired and excited and a little
We'll
stoned.
see you tomorrow for our fresh topic, appendectomy. No, I'm kidding. It's not really that. Love you. Bye.
Bye.